Three big things hit XRP today, and together they're a perfect lesson in why you should never trade on headlines. The market sold off and XRP dipped. Ripple landed a major European license, and the Clarity Act drama in Washington took another turn. But here's the strange part that almost no other channel will tell you straight. The so-called good news did not pump XRP at all, and the scary news might not be as scary as the headlines are making it sound. So today, I'm going to cut through all of it for you. I'll show you exactly what's actually happening, what's just designed to scare you, and what's being hyped to make you click. Because this channel is called Verified, and on a chaotic day like this one, separating the signal from the noise is the most valuable thing I can do for you. Let's get into it. One honest note first. Everything here is research and perspective to help you understand the day, not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to buy, sell, or hold. Do your own research, and let's walk through it. So let's start with the red on the screen, because that's what everyone panics about first. As I'm putting this together, XRP is sitting right around $1.10, down a few percent, parked right on a key support level. And it's not alone. The entire market is bleeding, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano all in the red. So what actually triggered this? The spark came from an unexpected place, South Korea. At a government forum, lawmakers floated a proposal to tax unrealized gains. Now let me explain what that means in plain English, because it's the key to the whole sell-off. An unrealized gain is profit that exists only on paper. It's a stock or a coin that went up in value, but that you haven't actually sold yet. Under this proposal, you could owe tax on that paper profit even if you never sold a thing. And the reaction in Korea was brutal. Their stock market had one of its worst days in months. A session traders are already calling Black Tuesday, with the main index crashing around 10% and triggering an emergency circuit breaker. But here's where I have to give you the honest, verified version that the panic tweets leave out. First, this is a proposal raised at a forum. It is not law. It hasn't passed, and these kinds of taxes have a very poor track record of actually surviving. The Netherlands tried almost this exact policy back in February, a flat 36% annual tax on unrealized gains, and it ran into such immediate, fierce backlash that it became politically toxic almost overnight. Second, the Korean crash wasn't only about this tax. That market was already overheating on an AI and chip stock frenzy, and pension funds were already selling. The tax proposal was the spark, but the dry wood was already stacked. So why does any of this touch XRP? Simple. South Koreans are some of the most enthusiastic XRP holders on the planet. So when fear grips their market, it spills into crypto sentiment globally. The takeaway here isn't to panic. It's to understand that a single forum proposal, which may never become law, rattled an already jittery market. That's worth watching, but it is not a reason to get shaken out of your conviction. Now let's talk about the headline that a lot of channels are screaming about today, Ripple's big European license. And this is a fascinating case study in hype versus reality. Here's what actually happened. Ripple announced it received preliminary approval for a MiCA crypto asset service provider license from Luxembourg's financial regulator. Combined with the European money license Ripple already holds, this would eventually let Ripple offer regulated crypto and stablecoin services across all 30 countries of the European Economic Area. And it landed just days before Europe's big July 1st deadline, when unlicensed crypto firms fall out of compliance. So on the surface, this sounds enormous. And for Ripple's business, it genuinely is a real milestone. But here's the honest part, and this is exactly why this channel exists. There are two things the hype headlines are getting wrong. First, this is preliminary approval, what's called a green light letter, and it's still subject to final conditions. It is not the full, finished license yet. And second, and this is the big one, this is a win for Ripple the company, and for RLUSD, Ripple's stablecoin. It is not a direct catalyst for the XRP token. Read that again because it matters. In fact, XRP actually fell on this news. Ripple's own announcement is built around its payments business and its stablecoin, and XRP shows up only as something that quietly underpins the system in the background. So if you saw a thumbnail today screaming that this license means XRP is about to explode, you were being sold a story. The progress for Ripple is absolutely real. The XRP to the moon narrative bolted onto it is not. Knowing that difference is what protects you from buying a top on hype. And that brings us to the third story. the Clarity Act in Washington, which I'm going to give you completely straight, with no political spin in either direction. The Clarity Act is the major bill that would finally settle which U.S. regulator oversees which digital assets, splitting authority between the SEC and the CFTC. It already passed the House and cleared a key Senate committee, but right now it's stuck. To beat a Senate filibuster, it needs 60 votes, which means around 7 Democrats have to come on board, and at the moment, almost none are committed. The sticking point is an ethics provision. Democrats want language that bars senior government officials from personally profiting off crypto while they're the ones regulating it. The White House says it supports ethics rules that apply broadly to everyone, but it will not accept language that singles out a specific office holder or family, and that's understood to be a reference to President Trump's own crypto ventures. I'm not here to argue either side of that. I'm just telling you the reality. Closed-door talks on this collapsed earlier this month, and prediction markets have now cut the odds of this bill passing in 2026 to roughly a coin flip, down sharply from a month ago. So when you see a headline claiming the White House is about to swoop in and save the Clarity Act, treat it with caution. The honest picture is that it's stalled. The realistic deadline is the August recess rather than July 4th, and it could genuinely go either way. Why does this matter for XRP? Because clear rules are exactly what big institutions are waiting for before they commit serious money, which makes this one of the most important catalysts on the horizon. The catalyst is real. The timeline just got a lot shakier. So let's pull it all together, because today is a textbook example of why headlines will wreck you if you let them. You had a scary tax story out of Korea that may never become law. You had a huge license headline that's real for Ripple, but didn't pump XRP and isn't even an XRP catalyst. And you had a regulatory bill that's being sold as nearly saved when it's actually stuck. The noise today was loud in both directions, fear on one side, hype on the other. But underneath all of it, the things that actually matter haven't changed. Ripple keeps stacking regulatory licenses, now more than 75 worldwide. The infrastructure keeps getting built, brick by brick. And the one development that would genuinely move the needle for XRP, real, final regulatory clarity, is still grinding its way through the system. So watch the foundation, not the daily fear and hype. The people who stay focused on what's actually being built are the ones who don't get whipsawed by a single day's headlines. One last reminder before I go. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Crypto is volatile and genuinely risky, and you should always do your own research before making any decision. My only job here is to give you the real picture, the documented facts and the honest unknowns, so you can think clearly for yourself. If you appreciate getting the verified version instead of the loudest headline in the room, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And tell me in the comments, out of these 3 stories, which one do you think actually matters most for XRP? I read every single one. Take care, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.